Hello, everybody, and welcome to my Module 4 video reflection. This module and the video mostly hit me pretty hard as I got kind of emotional for both Nicholas and Eric's parents as they were kind of left in the dark when their kids aged out of services when they turned 21 and other things. So I want to talk about that in a little in-depth and kind of connect it to the feelings I'm having in my profession and my personal life and everything. So one, what did I learn about working with families and children with autism? I feel like it's super important for us as educators to take that responsibility and that role to help and partner with the parents. Not just be their teacher at school, but help connect with the parents at home with what's going on at home. Let them continue what we're doing and what we're working on in the classroom to home. I do work in a public school, and I do have a few students with autism that I work very, very closely with. I feel like it is super important to carry on those services and those activities and those things we do in the classroom, and those supports we do in the classroom, and carry that onto home so that it's kind of like a, you know, repetitive thing that they're used to doing not only at school, but whenever they're at home too, to help develop those skills and reach those goals that will help them in the future, being just living their daily lives. So I learned that some obviously some schools don't work as closely with parents as I know I like to work with my parents in the classroom, especially those with autism. I learned that that's super important, that school districts and teachers really need to take on that responsibility of working with the parents and having them be a partner with you, not just, a parent at home. Number two, what did I learn about the barriers to family participation? If we don't communicate, they don't know what's going on. Especially with the transition planning aspect of it, I feel like as teachers need to communicate with the parents and let the parents know what's going on, what transition plans are, give them the resources early on. I know I have a couple students. Right now, I teach 5th through 8th grade, and we're already talking about transition plans and what it's going to look like when these kids are out of the school system and what's going to happen in the future. We're working on goals. We're working on things now that's going to help them be successful in their future throughout adulthood. So I think that's super important. So those barriers, if those parents don't know what's going on, they're not going to know how to take care of their kid and how to better help them in the future in their adult life. Number three, what did I learn about supporting families of children with autism? It is so important to support them. Like I said, give them the resources, help them with transition planning, give them transition goals, give them resources to where they can, if they need services, receive services after high school. Get them on some sort of plan early to where they're not struggling after, they're getting kicked out at 21. They're not struggling to find something. Make sure that thing is in place right now. I know I have referred a few of my students to some transition support that's going to help them after they graduate. And I know those programs are waitlisted. Those programs, funding isn't as abundant as it should be or as it needs to be. So I know getting on those wait lists super early is really important. I have kids that are 5th graders. We're referring them, and they're getting on that wait list now so that they're not having to struggle in the future. And I feel like every single parent should have the same ability to get their kid on a wait list or get their kid what they need early. So yeah. Number four, how can you apply what you have learned in this module to current practices? So I know it's super important to keep an open communication line with the parents, communicating with them on a daily basis with what we're struggling with what we're doing well at, with what their goals are, with what transition plans are, with what we're doing in the classroom can help implement at home. Keeping really good communication and contact with the parent is super important. I know I have kind of looked into this on myself because I feel like me as a SPED teacher needs training and can do better in the transition planning aspect of it. Like I said, I'm a 5th through 8th grade SPED teacher, so I don't really start looking into those transition plans until they get to 7th, 8th grade. And then high school, I really don't get to see the full-on transition plan because I am still, at the middle school level. So I want to get better and get more training and more professional development in transition plans and how to implement them, how to write them, how to determine what is best for those students. I want to get more resources that I can share with parents. I really want to personally develop myself in transition planning so that I can in turn help families so that they're not struggling once their kid gets too old for school. And number 5, what are the 3 topics in this module that have most impacted me personally and professionally? Personally, as an aunt of a child with autism, he is only 4. So, we haven't really started thinking, us as a family, I'm not his mom or anything, but as a family, hasn't even started thinking about, what's going to happen in the future. But if I was his parent, I would want to start looking at that, early and what's going to happen. So, on the personal aspect of it, I would expect my child's teachers to inform me, give me the resources I need to seek out the help and support I'm going to need for my kid in the future. So in turn, as a teacher, I want to do my best for my parents with autism and help them, give them the resources they need, give them the contacts they need to get their child the support that they're going to need whenever they transition out of school. Another thing that I took away was that how important parent communication is, how important it is to keep that constant contact, keep that consistency for that child throughout. I mean, from the time they start school throughout, I think it's super important to have a good relationship with my parents. And the third thing I took away is how frustrating it might be for those parents to not know where their kid is going. So I want to do the best possible teacher I can and make sure I implement everything I can for those students. So I hope that everyone has a wonderful rest of their day, and thank you for listening to Module 4.